You believed you could end this, end me. But all you can do now is witness the world I'm about to unleash.
Stranger Things 5, Volume 1 is done. Volume 2 drops on Christmas. And right now, every YouTube channel is saying the same thing. Rewatch Season 1. Rewatch Season 4. Spot the parallels. That is fine. But if you really want to predict what happens in Stranger Things 5 Volume 2, there is a better move. Do not just rewatch the show. Study the stories it is copying. In this video, 3 stories you must watch before Stranger Things. 5. Volume 2. I am going to give you a simple homework list for the next month. 3 books and movies that map almost perfectly onto what Volume 1 started and what the Christmas episodes are probably going to finish. Story number 1. A Wrinkle in Time. This one is huge for Stranger Things 5. A Wrinkle in Time is about a group of kids traveling through space and time to rescue someone they love from a cosmic, shape-shifting evil.
Is that his work? What's it about?
He believes that we could travel the universe instantaneously.
So you fall to space.
More likely wrinkle it.
They do it by moving through a kind of shortcut in reality, a wrinkle instead of normal time. The villain is not just a monster, it is a mind, a dark intelligence that wants to flatten free will and control everything. Sound familiar? In Stranger Things 5, Volume 1 sets up Will Byers as the beginning and the end. We have Dimension X, we have the Upside Down, we have Vecna acting like the face of a much bigger hive mind. If you watch or read A Wrinkle in Time before Volume 2, pay attention to 3 things. How the kids travel, how the darkness tries to control their thoughts, and how love and identity become literal weapons against a cosmic brain. Stranger Things has already remixed this once with 11. In Season 5, it feels like Will is about to get his own Wrinkle in Time arc. A kid pulled between 2 minds, trying to decide which one he belongs to. Story number 2. It by Stephen King. The Duffers have never hidden this one. Small town, group of kids.
The entire camp? There are rumors of Indians, but no sign of an attack.
Cosmic evil that feeds on fear. A monster that comes back in cycles and changes shape based on what you are most afraid of. In It, the real horror is that the town gets used to the pattern. People look away. The adults forget what happened. Only the kids remember the truth. And even they start to forget when they grow up. In Stranger Things 5, Volume 1, we are basically in the second cycle. The party is older. The threat is bigger. The town is traumatized. And the evil has history with them. If you watch or read it before Volume 2, focus on 2 things. How the kids fight Pennywise as children, and how they have to come back as adults and fight the same evil again, but with their memories broken. That is the blueprint for where Stranger Things is right now. The question for Volume 2 is simple. Are we watching the final battle? Or are we watching the middle of a cycle that is going to repeat? There is also one more detail. In it, the final fight is not really about punching the monster. It is about understanding what it is, what rules it follows, and what it is afraid of. We have spent all of Stranger Things 5 Volume 1 learning how Vecna and the hive mind work. Volume 2 is where that knowledge has to pay off. Story number 3, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. This is the sneaky one, and it matters because of the Christmas release.
I ain't gonna smell it if that's what you want. With Adam's flesh and Adam's bone sits a Cair Paravel enthroned. The evil time will be over and done.
In The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the kids enter another world through a normal object. A wardrobe in a spare room. That world is locked in a state of endless winter. Always winter and never Christmas. Under the control of a powerful witch. The turning point of that story is when Christmas finally arrives. The snow is still there. The danger is still there. But the arrival of gifts and hope means the spell is starting to break. Now think about Stranger Things 5 Volume 2, dropping on December 25th. Netflix and the Duffers did not pick that date by accident. They know our brains link Christmas to happy endings and warm feelings. If they are using Narnia logic, Christmas in Stranger Things 5 is not the end of winter. It is the moment the real war starts. If you watch or read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe before Volume 2, pay attention to 3 things. How the kids cross between worlds, how the endless winter works, and how the arrival of Christmas does not remove danger. It exposes it. Now here is your Stranger Things 5 homework list in 1 sentence. A wrinkle in time for the time in mind. War around Will and Dimension X. If for the repeating cycle of evil in Hawkins, and the idea that Vecna might not be the final boss. And The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe for the way Christmas, portals, and endless winter worlds can all collide in the Volume 2 episodes. If you want to go all in, do one of these each week before December 25th. By the time Volume 2 drops, a lot of Stranger Things 5 will feel less like a random twist, and more like the final act of 3 stories you already know. Now that you have your homework list for Volume 2, the next step is understanding why the party still is not strong enough to win. In my next video, I break down the level 20 problem in Stranger Things 5, why 11 still cannot beat Vecna in Volume 2, and what loot or power up the party needs before the finale. Click that next, and let us keep getting ready for the Christmas episodes together. Stranger Things 5. Volume 1 is full of visual Easter eggs, but some of the most important clues are not in the picture at all. They are hiding in the audio and in the subtitles. If you watched Volume 1 once and felt like something was off, or like a scene was trying to tell you more than you could see, you are not imagining it. The Stranger Things team is using sound design as a second layer of storytelling. And if you are not listening for it, you are missing part of Stranger Things 5. In this video, you missed the clue, hiding. In Volume 1 audio, we are going to talk about 3 things: the hidden sounds inside the Upside Down and Vecna scenes, the subtitle-only moments that give away extra information, and the simple settings that will help you hear Stranger Things Season 5 the way it was mixed. Let us start with the Upside Down and Vecna audio. Every time Stranger Things 5 goes into Vecna territory, the soundscape changes long before the visuals do. You will hear low rumbles, a faint ticking, distant metallic groans, and little reversed echoes of voices.
Do it.
Oh my God! Oh my God! I got it! Slow down! Jesus Christ! Jesus! Oh my God! It did it!
It almost feels like the show is breathing around the characters. In Volume 1, the ticking clock is obvious in some scenes and almost invisible in others. Sometimes it is loud right before a vision starts. Other times, it is buried so deep under the music that you only notice it if you wear headphones. That is on purpose. The ticking is not just a horror sound, it is a signal, a way for the show to mark Vecna's presence even when he is not on screen.
4 times. Max.
In some Volume 1 scenes, the clock starts ticking before the characters feel anything. If you catch it, you know something is coming. If you miss it, the scare feels more sudden. There are also scenes in Stranger Things 5 Volume 1 where background voices are distorted, reversed, or pushed to the edge of hearing. In some upside-down shots, you can almost make out familiar words inside the noise. Screams from earlier seasons, snatches of dialogue, a name said too quietly to show up in the main mix. This is where subtitles come in. Netflix subtitles and closed captions for Stranger Things 5 are not just accessibility tools. They sometimes label sounds in a way that spoils what is going on. If you have subtitles off, you just hear a weird sound and move on. If you have them on, you might see things like clock ticks faster, whispered voice says, "Join us." Distant creature screeches in the dark. In a few key Volume 1 scenes, the captions tell you who is speaking, even when the character is off-screen or heavily distorted. They might label a line as Vecna, or as Will, or as an unknown voice. Often this happens long before the plot confirms anything. Sometimes the text at the bottom of the screen is the only place where the show admits that a certain sound is the Mind Flayer, or that a certain echo is Will Byers, not Vecna. That is huge if you are trying to understand the real rules of Stranger Things Season 5. So how do you actually catch this stuff without replaying every scene 10 times? First, watch at least one episode of Stranger Things 5 Volume 1 with good headphones or a decent soundbar. Laptop speakers and tiny TV speakers often crush all the detail into a flat wall of noise. You do not need studio gear. You just need something that does not turn the upside down into a single rumble. Second, turn on English closed captions for at least one rewatch. Do not use auto-translated subs. Use the official English CC track. That is the one that includes labels for sound effects, not just spoken words. Then, pay attention to 3 types of captions. Number 1, captions that describe the quality of a sound. If it says distorted clock ticking or echoing heartbeat, that usually means someone or something is manipulating reality. Number 2, captions that tell you who is speaking when the voice is off screen. If it labels a whisper as Vecna, that supports the idea that he is active in scenes where the camera never shows him. If it labels a background line as Will, that is a clue about his connection to the hive mind. Number 3, captions that describe background noise inside the Upside Down. If you start seeing things like creature circling overhead or distant roar gets closer, you know the show is hinting at entities we have not fully seen yet. The last piece of this puzzle is your audio settings. Just like we had to fix motion smoothing for the picture, we need to make sure your sound is not working against Stranger Things Season 5. If your TV or streaming box has an option called speech enhancement, clear voice, or night mode, try turning it on for Stranger Things 5. These modes often boost dialogue and small sounds, so they are easier to hear at lower volumes. If you are using a soundbar, look for a movie or cinema mode, rather than sports or music. Movie modes are tuned for sound effects and surround details. That is exactly what you want when you are trying to hear a faint clock tick hiding behind the score. The goal is simple. You want dialogue, subtle effects, and music to be clear without having to crank the volume so loud that the Demogorgon attack wakes up your neighbors. Once you do this, Stranger Things 5. Volume 1 feels different. The world sounds alive. Scenes that felt flat suddenly have layers. The show starts giving you tiny hints about Vecna, Will, the Mind Flayer, and the Upside Down long before the plot spells anything out. Now that you know you missed clues hiding in the Volume 1 audio, there is one more upgrade that will change how you watch Stranger Things 5. You already fixed your TV picture. You have tuned your sound and your subtitles. The next step is understanding why the story itself is built like a Dungeons & Dragons campaign, and what that means for Eleven versus Vecna. If you want to see why Eleven still cannot beat Vecna in Volume 2, and how the party is underleveled on purpose, watch my next video on the Level 20 problem in Stranger Things 5. Stranger Things 5 is finally here, and a lot of people are watching it completely wrong. If your screen looks muddy, too dark, or weirdly cheap, it is not Netflix's fault. Ross Duffer literally warned us about one TV setting that can ruin Stranger Things Season 5. And if you don't fix it before Episode 5, you are missing half the show. In this video, Ross Duffer warned us. Fix this. Before Episode 5, I am going to show you exactly what to change on your TV, so Stranger Things 5, Volume 1 looks the way the Duffer Brothers actually intended. Let's start with the problem you might be seeing. You press play on Stranger Things Season 5. The upside-down scenes are so dark you can barely see Vecna. Fast motion looks smeared. Faces look too smooth. Some shots almost feel like a cheap soap opera.
Stefan is being set up for kidnapping Kate and Ted. And I think Nicole's the one behind it.
Instead of a big-budget Netflix horror series. If that sounds familiar, your TV is not broken. It is doing exactly what it was built to do. Modern TVs are shipped with showroom settings. Bright, over-sharpened, and full of artificial effects that look good under store lights, but terrible for cinematic shows like Stranger Things. That is why Ross Duffer told fans to turn off motion smoothing. So what is motion smoothing, and why is it killing Season 5 for so many viewers? Motion smoothing is a TV feature that tries to make motion look smoother by inserting fake frames between real frames. Your TV is literally guessing what should be there and filling in the gaps. On paper, that sounds helpful. In reality, it creates the soap opera effect. Movies and shows look too sharp and too real. Camera movement feels weirdly cheap. Shadows and dark scenes look smeary instead of cinematic. For a horror-heavy season like Stranger Things 5 Volume 1, that is a disaster. The Duffer Brothers carefully designed the lighting, shadows, and grain. Motion smoothing wipes a lot of that away. The hardest part is that every TV brand calls this setting something different. On Samsung, it might be called Auto Motion Plus. On LG, look for True Motion. On Sony, it is often Motion Flow. On other brands, watch for names like Smooth Motion, Clear Motion, or Motion Enhancement. Here's what you need to do. Go into your TV menu, open Settings, then go to Picture or Display. Then look for Advanced or Expert Settings. Find anything called Motion, Clarity, True Motion, Motion Flow, or similar. When you find it, turn it off. Or set it to the lowest possible value. You don't need to remember every fancy name. Just remember this rule. If the setting says it makes motion smoother or clearer, Stranger Things 5 will almost always look better with it off. Now let's fix the too dark problem. Stranger Things 5. Volume 1 uses a lot of deep shadows, red tones, and very low light scenes. On a properly set up TV, that looks incredible. On default settings, it can look like one big black blob. Here are 3 quick tweaks. First, turn off dynamic contrast or contrast enhancer. These modes crush dark details into pure black. They are great for sports. They are terrible for the upside down. Second, set your picture mode to movie, cinema, or filmmaker mode. These modes are designed for films and TV shows. They usually turn off most of the fake effects for you. If your TV has filmmaker mode, that is often the best starting point for Stranger Things. Third, raise the brightness 1 or 2 clicks, not 10. If you raise it too much, blacks turn into gray fog. Go up just enough so you can see detail in Vecna's lair and in the upside-down sky without washing everything out. If your TV has HDR, make sure it is actually enabled on the HDMI port you are using. And make sure you are watching the Ultra HD or 4K version of Stranger Things 5 on Netflix when possible. The reason Ross Duffer warned everyone about TV settings is simple. Stranger Things 5 was shot and graded like a cinematic horror film. If your TV is adding motion smoothing, fake sharpness, and crushed blacks, you're not watching Stranger Things 5. You are watching your TV's algorithm. Once you turn motion smoothing off, switch to a cinema or filmmaker mode, and make those small brightness tweaks, you will notice the difference immediately. The upside down has texture again. Vecna's face and vines have real depth. Fast action scenes feel like a movie, not a soap opera. And most importantly, you will actually see the little visual clues the Duffers hid in the dark. Now that your TV is finally ready for Stranger Things, 5 Episode 5 and Volume 2, there is one more thing almost everyone is missing. The show is also hiding clues in the sound and in the subtitles. If you want to catch the whispers, the background noises, and the closed caption hints you probably missed in Volume 1, watch my next video called You Missed the Clue, hiding in the Volume 1 audio. Click that next, get your sound dialed in, and let's get your Stranger Things set up perfect before the story continues.